It's Diana from Wocky Pots Studio on the Delmarva Peninsula. Welcome back. This is part 2 of our kiln unload video from today, August the 19th of 2025. And I'm going to be talking to you about the different glazes that I used on the pieces that were in the kiln and going over the methods that I used for some of the combos. Alrighty, let's get started. We're going to start with Shane's apple bowls. They are absolutely stunning. The inside of the bowls are done with 3 coats of Amico's Honey Flux for both of them. And it's kind of funny because you can still see a difference in the bowls. You know, glazes like to do what glazes like to do. And on the leaves, it is 2 coats of Amico Celadon Jade. And then this is Tapenade from Spectrum. The outside of this bowl is 3 coats of Amico's Deep Fire Brick. And on this one, it is Amico's Deep Sienna Speckle. And hopefully you can see the little speckles in this. Now, every bit of the clay that I'm going to be showing you today is Kentucky Mudworks Iceman clay. So it is a white stoneware clay. And we do fire to cone 6 in our Scott 1027. And we do a slow fire to the cone 6. All right, these next pieces are done with the 3D roller that I drew, and it says Knit Pearl. I love knitting, so of course I like to put the 2 things together and really enjoy that. The texture, what I do is I flood this area with the green, which is Jade Celadon from Amico, Deep Sea, and then Mulberry. I then take a sponge, wipe that back to bare clay. The color stays in the grooves. And then I took Deep Sea, 3 coats, and did around the rim of the piece. And then 2 coats of Mako's Zinc Free Clear. I did the same on these ornaments, with the exception that each of these ornaments is a solid Celadon. That's the Jade, the Deep Sea, the Mulberry, and then I did do one where I used the 3. And my goal with using the 3 like that is to give the effect that it's a variegated yarn being used. And I also have that done on a mug. The difference between the mug and the plate, though, is in the color that I chose for the handle and the rim. And for the mug, I went with the Amico Mulberry Celadon. It's also what's on the inside of the mug. And I did a bottom band as well. It was Deep Sea on the plate. Again, it is 3 coats. If I'm using the Celadon and I want really good coverage, I will use 3 coats. If it's okay to have a little bit more translucency, I can go with 2, especially on pieces that are going to have some other colors in them or have a lot of texture. All right, but that is just lovely. This piece is the only one that I did this combination on. I had in my mind what it was going to look like, but I wanted to be certain before I did it to a lot of pieces. We had just received a glaze order in, and I had ordered, we had not had it in some while, Mako's Shipwreck. And when that came in, I was like, I bet that would look really nice with the Norse blue. And then I'm like, that's a lot of freckles. And so I'm thinking, what else could I put that would be freckled? And I thought about using amaryllis, and then I was like, maybe not. And then I spotted the sandstone bottle from Mako, and I was like, yes, so I'm gonna use nothing but Mako glazes. And it was 2 coats of each of these glazes. Now, what I did was I started at the bottom first. So I did the Shipwreck 2 coats. Then next I overlapped the Shipwreck and did 2 coats of the Norse Blue. And then I overlapped the Norse Blue and did 2 coats of the Shipwreck. And then I did the Shipwreck inside. And oh, it is so pretty, so pretty. Not sure if you can see that or not, but hopefully you can get some of it. All right. Folks, many of you helped us to name this glaze, and this glaze's name is Root Beer Float. So in order to achieve Root Beer Float, I use Mako's root beer, and I did 2 coats of the Mako root beer on the outside and on the inside. And I brought it all the way up to right about there. And then I left this bare. Then I overlapped that root beer with 1 coat of honey flux and 2 coats of river birch. And I did the same thing to the handle. And then on the inside, again, 1 coat of that honey flux on the rim and 2 coats of the river birch. And it really does make me think it needs a straw and that it's going to be a root beer float. Really pretty. For this next piece, this is a new glaze for us. And I really wasn't sure if I would like it or not because I don't like those matte glazes. However, I'd had several people recently say that many of the matte glazes are more of a satin matte, and so they feel good. And in truth, this really does. It feels nice to touch. It doesn't give me the willies like normally I get with matte glazes. But this is from Mako, and it is blue splatterware. And it looks really nice with Amico's Cobalt Celadon. So the bottom band is 3 coats of the Cobalt. I then did 2 coats of the blue splatterware. I've got a lot of splatters, a lot of the blue. If I had done a 3rd coat, I think I might have lost all of my white. My jar seems to have a lot of those blue specks in it. And then I just did 2 coats of Snow Celadon from Amico on the inside. All right, folks, I'm gonna talk about our Gnome Mugs for a moment. All of the Gnome Mugs have 2 coats of Snow Celadon as the liner glaze. They also have 2 coats of snow on their beards. There is Mako's Pinkaboo on the nose, and that is 3 coats. And then it is 2 coats of amaryllis on this one, 2 coats of cenote on this one, and then this one is 3 coats of Amico's Ancient Copper. To these mugs, many of you have probably seen this mug before. They've been so popular at the market this year. This is my blueberry texture roller, and in it I have put the deep sea, then wiped it back. I've used the deep sea on the inside and on the handle, and it is 3 coats. I really need a good coverage with that. And then 2 coats of Mako's Zinc-Free Clear. This is the first mug that I have done with this new roller that I did. Hopefully you all can see that there are apples. Some of the apples are sliced open and leaves, some apple pie and mugs that hopefully are holding apple cider. But I chose to use Amico's Snapdragon Celadon on this one. So it's 3 coats on the inside, 3 coats on the handle, 3 coats on the little apple I sculpted. I have jade on the leaf, just 2 coats of that. A tiny smidge of black timber for the stem from Mako. And then I used the Snapdragon on the outside and the clear glaze. And of course, when you do put glaze into grooves, you want to do all of that first because you're going to be wiping and wiping and wiping and you'd knock all this off. So that's the first step I usually do. And I just wanted to share some of the single glazes that we have on the saucers or the trinket dishes. This is from Spectrum and it is tapenade, and on this spider web texture, it really looks phenomenal. It's reading lavender on all parts of the spider web, and then you can see the brown in between. Really, really stunning glaze. Here is Floating Turquoise, also from Spectrum. Really shows off texture again very nicely. This one was done with a doily pressed into the clay. Now this one is Pearl White, also from Spectrum. You can still see the cobweb, but it has obscured quite a bit of the spider web. Super excited, guys, about this one. This is one of Mako's new jungle gems. I love it, love it, love it, love it. This one is Peach Party, and at Cone 6, Peach Party looks really good. Very nice. This one has Amico's Rainforest Celadon. All of these are Amico Celadons coming up, and there were 2 coats applied. This is when I said, you know, I often use just 2 coats on something that has texture and find that that's enough. So this is Lagoon, Ochre, Marigold, Jade, Fog, Snapdragon, and Sandalwood. And they really turned out stunning. The last thing I'm going to share with you guys are our pumpkins, and they're just as cute as buttons. This particular pumpkin was done with 2 coats of deep sienna speckle, and that's from Amico. This is Mako's Tropical Teal, 2 coats. Amico's Honey Flux, 2 coats. Amico's Tangelo, 2 coats. And then 1 coat of Green Jasper. I almost lost that name for a second. And we had finished our small jar of Green Jasper, our little sample jar, and I had just gotten the large one in, and I was like, I'm gonna try that because maybe it'll give that effect of you know, those pumpkins that you see that have the little green running through them. And I have to say, of the pumpkins, it's hard for me to choose a favorite. Then the stem is done with that black timber, 2 coats on each of them. But they turned out really, really nice. That's it for our glaze combo sharing video. I am hoping that you guys are finding it useful to have it in this 2-part format. That way, those of you who are watching it to see what's going to end up on our market table, and if you want to get to the market quickly so that you can get your piece of pottery, then you get to watch the part 1. If you're looking for combos that you might want to use in your own pottery studio, or a glaze that you're like, oh, I was wondering how that would look, then part 2 is for you. And of course, you know, some of you like to follow our journey completely and you're watching both parts, and we really, really, really thank you for that. I love all the comments that you all leave, the suggestions, the just all of the things, and the fact that you all celebrate our accomplishments with us. It means the world to me and to Shane and to Christopher and everyone else. So we really do appreciate that. As always, if you have already subscribed, thank you so much. If you have not subscribed, if you would please subscribe. It helps our channel grow. Leave a comment. I'd love to hear from you. Alrighty, guys. Take care. Have a wonderful day, no matter where you're at. Bye.